The 5 things you need to know about heartbreak and your mind. 1. For your brain, coming through heartbreak is like coming off of drugs. We all want to think of love as an emotion. But when researchers looked at the brain and love, they discovered that, while love triggers emotions, it is actually more of a motivational state. Their brain was still in motivation mode and the neurons still expected a reward. And the really interesting thing is that this part of the brain, which works around gains, losses, and cravings, is the same part of the brain that lights up when someone is a cocaine addict. So both when we are in love and when we are fresh from a breakup, we are essentially like a drug addict. Takeaway tip: when you are in the throes of heartbreak, you are as logical as a drug addict coming clean. So while usually it's important to trust that you know what is best for you, heartbreak is one of the times you might want to trust your family and good friends. If they say it's not a good idea to call the ex, it probably isn't. Also, find support. Like coming off drugs, breaking away from a relationship is hard, and we all need a you can do it team as we go. 2. Heartbreak makes your mind an extremist. As evolutionary psychologists are fond of pointing out, our brains are slow developers that are still caveman-like in their programming. So when we experience a stressful situation like a heartbreak, our brain sends out a fight or flight signal, as if we are about to be killed if we don't react. One of these fight or flight mechanisms is what is known as black and white thinking, also called all or nothing thinking or splitting. Black and white thinking is when we only see things in extremes. Way back in prehistoric times, this helped our brain in times when uncertainty would up our chances of getting killed and we needed to run away, not ponder the options. Nowadays, black and white thinking is less a lifesaver, and more a source of drama. Takeaway tip: if you can start to spot your extreme thinking, you can start to even out your moods. Watch out for extreme words, such as always, never, the best, the worst, when you catch yourself using such statements. Take a moment to look at your thought. Ask yourself, is it realistic? What proof do I have to support this statement? And what might a more balanced thought look like? You might also want to try a round of CBT therapy, which specializes in helping you notice your extreme thoughts, which CBT therapists call cognitive distortions, in place of more balanced and useful thinking. 3. You are less able to tell the truth about what has happened than you think. We all like to think we remember things exactly as they are. And yet research done at the University of California has proven that even those of us with photographic memories don't remember things perfectly. It seems our minds can easily be fooled into thinking we remember something we actually didn't and distorting truth. So it's bad enough that left to its own devices your brain wants to tell tall tales. What about when we're under a lot of stress, like when a relationship crashes and burns? Stress hormones will promote your building of negative memories. 4. The psychological snowball effect can knock you over. Have you ever been with someone you weren't sure you were in love with, broke up with them, then suddenly been totally devastated and heartbroken? You were probably left wondering why you were so upset, even as you were unable to control your sadness. If so, you've been the victim of a psychological snowball. Trauma in the present often triggers repressed traumas from your past. Even if you are not consciously aware that these old traumas are being released, you will feel it, via really overwhelming feelings of sadness and despair. The little snowball of heartbreak rolls into a big boulder of a snowball before you know it. 5. Heartbreak can trigger psychological shock, a very real condition. Heartbreak, like any other trauma, can put you into psychological shock, also called emotional shock and acute stress reaction. And emotional shock doesn't just cause anxiety, fear and a sense of unreality. It also comes with a host of possible physical symptoms, including but not limited to sleeplessness, a racing heart, headaches, stomach upset, muscle tension, and random physical aches and pains. So yes, love really can hurt, when we have to let it go and need to move on.